I think it's fair to say that we're operating from a shared assumption that things are pretty rough right now. Terrible, really. Hyperpolarization, fake news, incivility, decreasing levels of trust in democratic principles that were once just assumed to be sacred, and an increasing belief that democracy is a bad form of government. That one scares me a lot. Things are bad, full stop. And fixing everything will require many solutions, probably all of the solutions we've heard here today. In fact, I love all of those solutions and I will champion them in my spare time. But I'm here today to make the case that none of these solutions matter, they will not work, and they will ultimately fail unless we prioritize more and better civic education. I know this. I believe this. In fact, I believe the exact opposite is precisely how we got here today. We failed an entire generation. Generations, really, plural. And in return, those generations are failing us, or at least our democratic republic. And since nothing unites Americans like a common scapegoat, let's just go ahead and say that it all started because of the Russians. They launched Sputnik, we lost our ever-loving minds, and for the past 5+ decades, civic education has taken a backseat to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and later reading and writing during the No Child Left Behind era. But remember, the whole purpose of public schools in the first place was to prepare students for their roles as citizens in our democratic republic. Because the founders knew, just as retired Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor has reminded us, that this stuff doesn't get passed down through the gene pool. Citizens need this knowledge to keep our republic, and if we want them to have this knowledge, we have to actually teach it to them. But we stopped teaching it, and the results are clear. We have a democratic republic, a form of government that relies upon knowledgeable, engaged citizens, and we don't have knowledgeable and engaged citizens. At least not enough. Not nearly enough. And please don't mistake my message for nostalgia or the tired obsession of a history nerd, although that label would be more than fair. We have clear evidence of what happens when we stop teaching civics. We're experiencing that now in stark relief. But we also have clear evidence of what happens when we bring it back. It's no mystery why the students from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida knew what to do after their school suffered the most horrific of tragedies. They knew what to do because they were taught what to do. And they were taught what to do because they live in my home state of Florida. And our state legislature passed the Justice Sandra Day O'Connor Civic Education Act in 2010. As a result, every middle school student in Florida gets a year of civics. These young people got a year of civics in middle school. And civic education works. Students who receive high-quality civics are more likely to vote and engage in political life and work on community issues and be socially responsible and, oh, by the way, complete college and develop employable skills. And I know that's not why we're here today, but I also know what sells. So, unfortunately, Florida is an outlier, not the norm. I know, in more ways than one. I'm from Florida, so I know. Of the 40 states that require civics coursework, only 9 require a full year of instruction, and only 17 require a civics exam to graduate. How can we expect the next generation to actively and civilly participate in our democratic republic if they don't even know the meaning of the word democratic or republic? Florida's 2018 seniors were the first class to graduate after implementation of the Sandra Day O'Connor Civics Education Act in Florida. And while, let's be clear, the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School students benefited from an overall high-quality education. But all of Florida's students now have opportunities for high-quality civic education as a result of investments made by the state. We need more such investments. We need investments in promoting similar civic education policies in all states. We need investments in strong curriculum, robust professional development experiences, meaningful accountability measures. We need investments in promoting civically minded school leadership and expanding student voice in that leadership. We need to invest in civic education, full stop. iCivics is leading the charge. While our curriculum team hustles to serve over 170,000 teachers and upwards of 5 million students a year with engaging, effective, and free civic learning products, our field building team is leading a coalition of 50 organizations and growing, and if your organization hasn't yet joined, please reach out. Ours is an ambitious plan, the CivX Coalition, that would revitalize and transform civic education across this country. By 2026, our nation's 250th birthday, we believe all American students can and should be exposed to high-quality civic education. Folks, I know everyone is worried and growing impatient. I know we want solutions now, solutions that can move the needle yesterday. I want that too, but it doesn't work that way. Our road to salvation is a long one, and we've got to play the long game. We've got to restore civic education to its rightful place as the primary mission of our public schools. Thank you.